So what's this then? Tell me about it.
Well, I believe it's a voucher. So you come down and there's a bottle of corks over there.
From your sponsors,
yeah,
Greenhouse
yeah.
Group, Adams Morey,
Exactly.
corks.
And you've got to guess how many corks are in that bottle, and you actually win a full Class 1 HGV training package.
Wow.
Full inclusive, RSM, driver
Three and a half grand's worth. Look at that. Get a
3.5
shot of that in. Get a shot of that in, drive. Look at that. Oosh.
Yeah,
but more importantly,
did I say arse?
yeah. Ask. There was a cut. You got to ask. Yeah.
Posterior.
Posterior with a K. So, John, you're looking in high spirits. The truck's looking good. You've got a great team around you.
Yep.
We're looking all right at the moment, but of course it is a very tight weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 5 races. We're 15 points in front. You know, stay out of trouble. We're here to race anyway. So, but it wasn't brilliant in qualifying. So just hopefully it dries up a little bit. You know.
Yeah, it's a bit slippy, isn't it? 'Cause it was dry yesterday, but we've woken up to a bit greasy today.
It's greasy in places where it's never been greasy before.
Wonderful,
so,
just what you need.
You know, the total opposite of what you would expect at Brands Hatch. So no, it normally ends up with being off, but we stayed on the circuit, so
that's good.
Yeah.
And you didn't get in any trouble from testing yesterday. I heard there was a little bit of kerfuffle on there with Division 1.
I don't really know, to be fair. What was
I thought you might have had the lowdown. You usually come to with all the facts.
Tell me.
Apparently there was 2 Division 1 drivers. I won't name any names, just in case.
I know. One person ended up.
And then they were like, during test, how does that happen?
I don't know, actually.
No comment.
Maybe. No comment. Yeah.
Well, look, John. Good luck for the weekend. Great to see you. Big finish for the year. We're all behind you.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Excellent. Cheers, John. And if you want to get involved with that competition, make sure you come down to the lower paddock and have a word with the team from Adams Morey, Greenhouse Group, and of course JP Racing. So here we are, a very big final weekend, which could possibly, of course, end up with none other than Ryan Smith making his ninth consecutive championship win. But first, before we get to that, apparently there's more important things than your 9th consecutive championship win. Who's this? Arthur. Brentley and Arthur. What are you two doing here today?
We've come to watch Ryan win championship, hopefully.
Hopefully. I like this optimism, but he's taking a step back. He's not going to commit to anything just yet. Arthur, are you excited to see the racing?
Yes.
And now Ryan won with the facts, of course. Very quick to correct me in France, although, let's be honest, I personally saw what was going to happen regardless. Here we are, 95 points difference?
95 points, but there was obviously, I think you forgot the fastest lap. So there's 105 available, so mathematically not. And, you know, if we had a non-finish, an engine failure, and Steve or won the races, it'd make it a little bit tight. But yeah, coming on to the 9th title, it sounds unreal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, people have obviously had 9 titles, but that important word is consecutive title. You have literally hit Division 1 or British Truck Racing and just smashed it year after year after year after year. I mean, yes, there's a lot to say about teams and sponsors and the truck, but let's be honest, that's a hell of a career.
It is. It's surreal, really, 9 times in a row. But look, like I've said, without the team, you've got to have the right team. We're trying to learn. And after we've won it that many times, we want to set new records. We want to leave our name wherever we can.
Well and truly in the concrete.
Yeah. But look, we have to do a massive shout out to all our partners, especially Northside Truck and Van, Keith Sims.
Been with you quite some time now, haven't they, looking after you?
And took us to a new level off track with marketing us and, you know, putting us with corporate people, and it just helps. And look, we're striving to keep improving all our sponsors. Too many to name, but they've all played a part, and the team. But for me, like I say, 9 times. If we win it 9 times, it's crazy.
It's not a massive if, though. Let's be honest. Do we think Ryan's going to take the 9th championship? That's more like it. Right then, well, I hope we'll be celebrating the next time you see us down in the pit lane, because it is just one race. You've got to finish. So yeah, this is it. Right, Arthur, Brentley, thank you very much. Thanks for coming to see the weekend, and I hope you enjoy watching him win, because probably going to win. Just saying. Right, back to Dave up in the commentary. Let's watch some racing, shall we?
Well, thanks very much to Pointy there. as we get ready for our first truck race of the weekend. We'll bring you the grid in just a few moments' time. Just awaiting the trucks to make their way out from the outer paddock here at Brands Hatch behind the face truck. A few more of your comments coming in on our YouTube feed. Hi to Stuart Evans, who said, got here just in time for the first race. Well done, Stuart. B Pops says, bringing my 2 sons along tomorrow, can't wait. Hi to Matthew Payne. Ben Peachy, who's supporting the Neil Yates recovery team. Neil racing this weekend alongside Stephen Powell. And Sally Bransom says, now hooked on watching racing, whether my son is participating or not. I'm guessing your son must be Brian Bransom, Mr. BMW. He's not here this weekend, but he's appeared on most of our streams in his BMW this year. Hi to Taz Hammond as well, looking to get into motorsport, so best of luck with your quest to become a racing driver. See, the circuit is still greasy out there. As Joy Goddard says, Brands Hatch, slippery when damp. It certainly is. Tunnel Lad says, can there be an upset today? Well, I'm not sure in Division 1 for the British Truck Racing Championship we're about to see. Basically, Ryan Smith just pretty much needs to finish this first race, and he will win the Division 1 championship. Division 2, it's a bit less clear-cut because there's only 15 points between number 6 John Powell in his DAF, which is I think the oldest machine we've got out there, and Simon Cole, number 41, who's in his Iveco. There's only 15 points between those two. It's 20 points for a win, and plus 1 point in each race for the fastest lap. So there's technically a maximum of 105 points available across the course of this weekend if you win every race and get the fastest lap as well. Stephen Powell is 95 points behind Ryan Smith in Division 1, so he basically needs to pretty much win every race this weekend and rely on Ryan Smith not scoring if he's going to take the championship. Stranger things have happened in motorsport. Trucks are about to head out on the track. There's a lot of show trucks here. You can just see at the top right corner there, some of them. There's a huge truck show, and there'll be a parade of show trucks at the end of tomorrow's event before the firework display that traditionally closes out the season here at Brands Hatch every year. There's some of the show trucks. We've got a circus here as well. All the fun of the fair as well. Now, once darkness falls at the end of tomorrow's event, all those show trucks will be lit up and on parade around the circuit. Got some military vehicles, we've got local fire service and police force are here as well. Mini monster trucks you can just see on the right of your picture there. There's some full-size monster trucks as well I've seen in motion as well. I think they've just paused to load some more passengers at the moment. I've taken a ride in one of those monster trucks at Brayfield Stock Car Stadium, Northampton Shaleway as it's now known in the past. They are good fun, better than a roller coaster, certainly. There's one of them in the background. I can hear truck engines in the background as well, so I think our big rigs are on their way. Yes, here they come. 5 tons. Almost 1,000 horsepower each, and we've got 15 of them on track at once. They are electronically governed to 100 miles an hour maximum. Can you imagine these guys going any quicker? It will be a rolling start, and it will be a 15-minute race. There's our second man in the championship, number 3, Stephen Powell, who lives literally just down the road from Brands Hatch in Rootham Heath, where his family runs a pub. There is John Powell, one of our Division 2 championship contenders in the number 6 DAF, the greenhouse-sponsored machine. A warm welcome to Willem Bredick as well, the Flying Dutchman. He is the number 50 in his Volvo. Joined the British Championship on their guest appearance at Le Mans recently, but he's not scoring points, so he won't figure in the championship fights. Let's have a look at the grid then. It is Ryan Smith on pole position, the champion-elect for the 9th year in a row, over a second quicker than his arch-rival David Jenkins, who's 3rd in the points in the number 69 MAN, will start alongside. Second row, number 12, Michael Oliver. What a cracking season he's had in the MAN, alongside 86 Tom O'Rourke's International Navistar, the American machine. Row 3, number 7, Stuart Oliver, the 10 times British and 1-time European champion. He's had to change trucks in mid-season, so it's been a year to forget, sadly, for Stuart, who wrote off his bonneted Volvo in a crash at Thruxton and a switch to an MAN. Starts alongside the first of the Division 2 trucks, the slightly less powerful machines, Paul Rivette, in his MAN. He's missed a couple of rounds this year due to an injury. He missed Pembrey and then blew his engine at Snetterton, which meant he missed the trip to France. So he's not figuring for the championship this year. Row 4, number 11, David Smith with his MAN. And number 5, Adam Bint. Great to have Binty back out in his Volvo White Aerodyne. Leading the top 10, Stephen Powell. He won't be too happy to be down in 9th place on the grid. Alongside John Bowler, who ended up in the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend in qualifying after setting his time. He completes the top 10. Behind them will be Simon Cole, number 41. Now, this is interesting. If John Powell, number 6, hits trouble this weekend and Simon Cole outpoints him to win the title, he could win the championship, Simon Cole, in Division 2 without winning a race all season. I can't remember that being done before. Cole starts alongside Neil Yates, the recovery company boss, in number 33, and the last of the Division 1 trucks on the grid. Then it's John Powell, who's been out-qualified by his championship rival. He starts on row 7 in the DAF, alongside Dutchman Willem Bredek in the number 50 machine. And behind him, the youngest man in the championship at the back of the grid, Archie Handy in the Volvo FN12, son of Simon Cole in the ex-Paul McCumsky, or Paddy Mac as he's known, Volvo. I've just been joined in my commentary box by a certain Pointy.
Bonjour, how the devil are we?
Not too bad, thanks. Looking forward to this.
Yes, indeed, it's going to be an interesting race. Big one to finish the year with here at Brands Hatch, of course, with the fireworks that I'm sure you've already mentioned. Lots going on in the paddock this weekend, though, already, and we've not even had a race yet. It was Stuart Oliver blowing his head on the engine yesterday as well, so new engine for him last night into the very early hours of the morning. And of course, a bit of a bump on the testing laps yesterday between Ryan Smith and Dave Jenkins.
Another one.
Indeed, yes. Well,
they've had a few of them over the years.
They have. They like to get up close and personal and certainly keep each other on their toes. But of course, you've got a very big opportunity here for the 9th consecutive championship. I mean, is this unheard of? You're the history guy.
Well, Stuart Oliver's won 10, but I don't think that they were consecutive. I'm going to have to check in my stats to see if it was 10 in a row for.
No, I don't
Stuart
think it
Oliver
was in a row. This is the buzzword that I was talking to Ryan Smith about earlier on down in the paddock. Consecutive is the word of the weekend, and I don't think it's been done. So definitely 10 times British, 1 times European for Stuart Oliver,
yeah.
But it wasn't all in a straight line.
I've just checked the stats pack, and he didn't win 10 in a row. So if Ryan wins 9 in a row, that will be the record.
It's going to be, well, it looks like they're off now under starters' orders, 15 minutes on the clock. Ready, of course, just looks like Ryan's got to finish this race, and effectively he's points clear then from anybody else in the championship, with only a maximum of 105 points to take this weekend. He's currently 95 ahead of Steve Powell. So as long as Ryan finishes in the top 8, I believe, this one, Steve's still got to finish first place with fastest lap to get anywhere near him.
And he's down in 9th place on the grid. He has struggled a bit with the lack of grip in qualifying. You see the number 3 truck there, the MAN. So Ryan just has to complete this race, and he's done it. There's John Powell. It's far less clear-cut in Division 2, and John Powell has been out-qualified by his title rival Simon Cole, who could become, I think, the first driver to win a title without winning a race all season.
Without winning any races, yeah, this is it. And to be honest, to the guys in Simon Cole's team, they are absolutely fantastic bunch. They're always there having a good time. They really try and keep a light-hearted atmosphere around the tent. But the first thing they told me last night, when I pulled up very late, I got here last night, apparently since they were over at the Le Mans, of course, they've made some serious modifications to the back end of the truck, and they're saying they've got a lot more power now, and fingers crossed we should see an actual win this weekend. But have they spoken too soon? This is the question.
Here we go then. Ryan Smith and David Jenkins lead them round ahead of Michael Oliver, Tom O'Rourke, the Scotsman, well up there after qualifying. Race number 1 of 5 this weekend, the final weekend of the season for the 2024 British Truck Racing Championship. Great to have Willem Bredek here from the Netherlands at the back of the grid in the Volvo, number 50. But Ryan Smith, he will want to secure the title with a flourish with another victory here at Brands Hatch. He started off in style with a couple of wins here on Easter weekend. His arch rival, David Jenkins, up alongside him. Here we go then, waiting for the power to come on. Revs are up, ready for a start, and here we go. You can see the wheels spinning there as they try to put the power down.
Already, as they come into the first corner, Paddock Hill Bend, it looks good on the inside for Ryan Smith. Bunching up slightly though, we've got Michael Oliver and Tom O'Rourke together. Nice clear away though, as we see Ryan Smith ahead already. A bit further back though, we see lots of steam coming from those brakes as we head around the hairpin. Further back then, we've got a great start there for Simon Cole in the 41. Neil Yates just to the back of him, and Willem Breidijk, of course, from the Dutch, won't be taking any points this weekend, but can still go home with some trophies.
He certainly can, yes. An invitational runner this weekend. He raced up Le Mans with the British Championship as well on the Bugatti circuit. Division 2 is led by Paul Rivette. He could put a little spanner in the works this weekend of the championship contenders. Well, I say that, he goes off along with David Smith there over the grass. There were a lot of trucks doing that in qualifying as well. They're so slippery through there. John Bowler ended up in the gravel at the other end of the circuit at Paddock Hill Bend. He's just ahead of Adam Bint, but it's Ryan Smith who's already checked out at the front of the field, ahead of Jenkins. Michael Oliver in third, then O'Rourke. Stuart Oliver is fifth. Smith survived that little off, and he's in sixth place ahead of John Bowler. Now, who's leading Division 2? Paul Rivette's lost some ground as a result of that off, so it's Adam Bint in front in Division 2. That's a bit of a surprise in the Volvo.
Indeed, ahead of Steve Powell and Neil Yates, so he's up in the Division 1s again, as we actually saw over in Le Mans a couple of weeks ago. Adam Bint racing with the big boys effectively. Of course, he's got a new truck in commission as well. He's currently building for next year. We're not allowed too many details about that, of course, but we're very excited to see him back in the British full-time, hopefully so. Great driving here then now. David Smith recovering quite well, but Adam Bint certainly putting him under pressure. One would question why Paul Rivette was found mixed up in the Division 1s at the same time.
Well, Paul Rivette is always very strong at Brands Hatch. I mean, earlier this season on Easter weekend, he actually took an overall win. He beat the Division 1 trucks to take a victory. The race was red flagged a few laps early, but that's the only time we've seen a Division 2 truck take an overall win this year as the leaders come up over the line to complete their second lap. Ryan Smith,
Dave Smith go off again.
Yes, Dave Smith off again at Clark Curve there. He'll lose out to Simon Cole and Neil Yates this time. Ryan Smith leading by 2 seconds ahead of Dave Jenkins, with Michael Oliver in third. Ryan Smith has, of course, done the fastest lap of the race. There is an extra point for fastest lap in each division as well. We'll try and keep up with the championship points as and when we can over the course this weekend. Simon Cole was a bit wide out of Paddock Bend there, so David Smith, who's returned to the championship after around 10 years away this year, back up the inside. The best he's had this year is a second place at Snetterton, if I remember rightly, and he would dearly love a first win if he can get in the right position with the reverse grids, of course, that we use, the top 8 being reversed for the third, fourth and fifth races of the weekend.
Yes, it certainly stands a chance. I mean, of course, we had Steve Powell, the reverse grid, doing very well, holding off Ryan Smith previously, all the way until I believe it was the last lap where he eventually succumbed to the efforts of the leading reigning champion. But yeah, good to see Paul Rivette back. Of course, he missed a lot of Snetterton and, of course, the all-important Le Mans circuit this year. New engine for him that they just couldn't find in time, so great to have him back on the circuit. But will he be taking those important points away from possibly John Powell or the likes of Simon Cole?
Yes, he will be the spanner in the works. We can see him up the inside there going into Paddock. I think that's on Simon Cole. Yes, so Cole will drop a position there. That'll drop him a couple of points if it stays like that in the results, because Rivette is not a championship contender, as we just said. It's 20 points for a win, 18 for second, 16 for third, and so on downwards. These are the two Neil Yates recovery team trucks. Stephen Powell second in the Division 1 points. Behind him is Neil Yates, the owner of the recovery company. Those red and white colours, a big accident in his Division 1 debut last year at Thruxton. Further back in the order, Simon Cole is behind Paul Rivette, but he's ahead of his championship rival there, John Powell, who's having a quiet race so far in the Greenhouse DAF number 6.
Biding his time, I believe. Yeah, got a chance to catch up with John Powell earlier on today, and the Adams Morey group, the Greenhouse group down there, have got a challenge on. You've got to guess how many corks are in a jar, and you can win a full heavy goods driver training package all the way up to your licence, which is pretty cool if I do say so.
Can't I win the bottles of booze that the corks came out of instead?
No, I think they've already got through those this season. I think that's where the corks came
yes,
from.
Probably, yes. So Ryan Smith is your leader. 3.6 seconds up now over David Jenkins in second. Michael Oliver still third. He's 3.8 seconds back. This is the battle for 7th place. with Adam Bint well up ahead of a couple of Division 1 trucks here, and a clear leader in Division 2. Second in Division 2 now is Paul Ribet ahead of Cole. Then it's John Powell, only 4th in the class. Willem Bredick is 5th, but he won't get points, so Archie Handy rounds out the Division 2 field. In Division 1, they're holding the top 6 places. It's Ryan Smith, David Jenkins, Michael Oliver, Tom O'Rourke. 5th is Stuart Oliver, John Bowler going well in 6th. 7th of Division 1 is Stephen Powell, then Yates, and finally, as we see behind this little lot, is David Smith. So Stephen Powell, if he stays down here, he will be out of championship contention. As it stands at the moment, the title is going to Ryan Smith.
Indeed, yes, just the finish ahead of Ryan Smith. As long as he bides his time, plays the right game, he should be in very good spirits when we see him next down in the pit lane shortly after this race. Of course, 4.3 seconds ahead after 5 laps. I mean, this guy, is he literally untouchable, unstoppable, perhaps?
Well, we know he's going to try and match next year the Stuart Oliver record of 10 titles overall. He wants to beat Stuart's record and then probably wants to go and try and win the European Championship as well.
One. Yeah, I mean, of course, Ryan Smith being in the European a few years ago, trying his hand there. Yeah, it's a different kettle of fish, that European. I tell you what, any driver that's been over there will tell you that. Of course, with lots of prospective Division 2 drivers coming in next year, it'll be exciting to see a fuller pack out there on the circuit, and of course a bit more in the mix for him to have to battle his way through to get that 10th title. With the reverse grids, of course, having a little mix of Division 2 sometimes up there in the front 4 rows does make racing a little bit more interesting in the British trucks.
Stephen Powell having a look on the outside there of Adam Bint. He went off there on Easter weekend into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend and hit the tyre wall. Needed a couple of the heavy recovery vehicles. I know Trackside Recovery have called in some very large and impressive recovery vehicles here this weekend, including Mick Gould's big Peterbilt I saw in the paddock earlier on. We'll try and get some shots of that for you later on, because it's a very impressive big American beast indeed, that truck.
Shout out Trackside Recovery, of course. They've been with the sport now for quite some years, haven't they? Yes,
the resident recovery specialists here at Brands Hatch. Big thanks to Steve Bewers and his team as we watch Adam Bint still holding off those two Division 1 trucks of Stephen Powell and Neil Yates in 7th place overall. Of course, they won't mind too much about getting past him, because they'll get the points in Division 1,
yes,
but they'll want to get past to try and catch their Division 1 rivals up ahead of him. What's the gap between Bowler and Bint now? They're just coming across the line to complete lap number 7. Yeah, this lot are 12 seconds back on the top 6 at the moment. This is the battle for 3rd place. Michael Oliver, cracking season Michael Oliver's had, holding off Tom O'Rourke here.
Yeah, it's like he's dusted off his racing gloves this year and come out of nowhere. I mean, he's always been a good driver and a fantastic person around the paddock. But yeah, I feel like he's certainly found his groove this season. It's been fantastic to watch his racing. Yeah, result after result after result. Taking, I believe, 4 trophies home from Le Mans last time we were there, which is just, you know, absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, really great team, and hopefully, of course, we get that continued back in from the 2 GT trucks next season for hopefully another improved year for Michael overall.
Tom O'Rourke giving chase. Been a relatively quiet year in his getting used to his new American International Navistar. He's only down in 8th place in the Division 1 points, but a better run for him here. He's had a fair few mechanical problems and a lot of bad luck as well, Tom O'Rourke, this year.
Yeah, yes, indeed. This is the problem with, of course, these machines. They are, oh dear, so speaking of which, Tom O'Rourke...
Curse of the commentator.
Indeed, gone round on the hairpin, facing the wrong way now into traffic. Can he swing it back round? We've got a truck coming up there in the distance.
Don't go in there.
Oh dear, I think we are officially bedded in there. We see on the back tyres he is buried, so I think that's going to be a virtual safety car at bare minimum whilst we try and get him snatched back out of the gravel. Quite close to the edge of the track though, luckily, as we see the 2 Division 1 Yates and Powell making their way finally past Adam Bint in Division 2. But of course, if that is a yellow flag, which I think it will have to be, yes, we see the lights coming out now. What do you think about that?
Well, I know it was a good save by Michael Oliver. I hope his right front tyre survived that. He hasn't got a puncture, so he's able to keep going. The race is still on at the moment.
Yeah, they're coming past here with quite some pace still, aren't they?
Well, there's Adam Bint dropping back into the clutches of David Smith. Paul Rivette's up there as well, so we're about to have a battle, I think, for the lead in Division 2, because Paul Rivette is beginning to close now on Adam Bint. He won't be able to get past anyone on the run up to Druids, because the yellows are out there with Tom O'Rourke's truck in the gravel. So, David Smith backed off there. He was looking for an overtake on the inside, and they're closing up as well on, I think that's Neil Yates ahead of them. So 4 of them together again. Paul Rivette goes to the inside, coming down to Graham Hill Bend. Yep.
David Smith is a bit twitchy on the back end in this race, so not sure whether he'll be super happy with the handling at the moment, because he does seem to be getting quite close to the boundaries, doesn't he? Very nice move up the inside there, Adam Bint, protecting that gap ahead of Dave Smith. But yeah, I think Paul Rivette's just waiting in the wings there, looking for that perfect opportunity to carry the momentum through. A lot of racing with momentum is with these trucks. It's not all about just overall acceleration power, although in this instance we're seeing putting that down past Dave Smith. And and through he is now to start chasing. Oh my God, what's going on there? We've got John Powell riding the back of truck 41.
Yeah, I've just seen that going past the commentary box window. John Powell is literally linked in the back bumper of Simon Cole. The two division... No. There they are, the two Division 2 title rivals were stuck together.
This happened before.
Yeah, Stuart Oliver and Ricky Collett it was a few years ago.
I can't believe I've just seen that going past the windows of the media centre here at Brands Hatch.
I've heard of bump drafting, that's ridiculous.
He just wanted a lift, didn't he?
Well, it saves a bit on rubber and fuel, I suppose.
Oh, God. I mean, look, it looks like they're both underway. Ryan Smith getting in the mix now. They've obviously slowed themselves down a little bit. So he's going to want to make a clean pass from Simon Cole. Hopefully not give Simon Cole a lift. I mean, is this like just a piggyback race now or what?
Oh, I'd be interested to see how that happened there. We picked it up as they went past the commentary box window. That's the second time we've seen that here at Brands Hatch. Well, Ricky Collett, to be fair, with Stuart Oliver on the back of him, managed 2 whole laps at the end of a race, and they finished like it.
Yes, it's true. I mean,
Tow truck of the year, I think he was presented with.
What's going on outside the window, but I'm sorry, anybody would have had to comment on what they saw then. That was insane. So we've got Adam Bint still with this very tight trio. Paul Rivette, Dave Smith, Adam Bint there, tussling away there at the front of Division 2. Dave Smith
red
down
flags
the hill
coming out.
Ah, right, okay. It looks like we've called it then. Have we got a truck off then? I can't see...
well,
Tom O'Rourke's still out, but have we ended up with John Powell? No, John Powell goes past the camera there, so he's not the one.
OK, we've not 100% sure of the reason for the red flag, but we presume it's because of Tom O'Rourke still there in the gravel at Druids, but he'd been there for a couple of laps.
Long time under yellow
so,
light, so
2 minutes 41 on the clock. I would imagine that will be race declared.
I think they're going to call
and that means
yep,
Ryan Smith, 9 in a row.
9 in a row, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's we've got hand movements down in the pit lane there. It is indeed race over. So I think I better. I don't even. This is the problem, you see. This is where it gets confusing, because they'll send them straight back to the paddock now to clear the track, and I'm going to go down to the pit lane and not be able to speak to Ryan Smith.
Well, maybe you dash over to see if you can dash over to the outer paddock and see if we can hear from our, subject to final confirmation of the result, our 9th consecutive year that Ryan Smith has won the Division 1 championship. At some point, he join us in the box for that race. But Ryan Smith, provisionally at least, is champion for the 9th year in succession. I think it'll be David Jenkins and Michael Oliver to complete the podium in Division 1, and Paul Rivette hadn't quite caught Adam Bint there, so I think Adam Bint will take the win in Division 2. Subject to final confirmation. There's debris at Clark Curve there, which I think is from either Simon Cole or John Powell's briefly interlinked trucks there. Second time we've seen that in the championship in the last few years. So provisional results of that race then. Ryan Smith completing 11 laps and taking the win over David Jenkins. He was 12 seconds ahead, even in not quite the full race distance. That's incredible from Ryan Smith, your champion for 9th year in a row. Michael and Stuart Oliver 3rd and 4th. Then John Bowler ahead of Stephen Powell and Neil Yates. And in Division 2, Adam Bint takes the win ahead of Paul Rivette, David Smith behind them. Then Simon Cole and John Powell did manage to get their trucks to the end of the race. And then Willem Vredig and Archie Handy a lap down. Of course, we lost Tom O'Rourke into the gravel trap from 4th place. Right, just to make certain, I'm going to put the points into my spreadsheet here in the commentary box and see what that does to the championship. I think we can hand down to Pointy. Hopefully he can talk to Ryan Smith.
Right, absolutely phenomenal. It's a shame he didn't get to complete the full 15 minutes, but we see early celebrations here, and well deserved too for Ryan Smith as he gets out of the truck and wishes his team well. Thanks them for their support through the year of what this is of course going to be. Give us a hug, come on. Ryan Smith's for a 9th consecutive win. I've got Alan over here as well. Alan, do you want me to hold both microphones?
You're absolutely fine.
Okay.
I find it entertaining.
It is. You watch him. Yeah, this is it. Well, everybody. Entertaining is a word for it, definitely. Right, Ryan. My goodness. I believe at the moment, as it stands, they've called the race at 75%, and that does in fact mean that you are now points clear again for the first race at Brands again to win the 9th championship in a row.
Delighted for my team, really delighted. They've worked so hard. 9 titles, still surreal. We spoke about it this morning. Arnie lost his dad last year. We dedicated the championship to him, and we lost my mum. And you know, I'm not a big talker, but that's for my mum as well. If she's looking down, 9 in a row.
I'm sure I can probably safely say she'll be very proud of your efforts in racing as a whole, and the driver you've become over the last few years. You know, everyone's been on a journey, you especially, and but look at you now. It's paid off. I mean, the sky's the limit, surely.
Yeah, we've improved on and off track, as you know. You've been with us through that journey, and we just get older, a bit wiser, and we just put us energy into the driving side of it and keep developing. I'm delighted for the team. They work, especially Arnie. Listen, I say the team, Arnie, we have a team here, but Arnie at base, he works on the truck on his own. He's a credit to me, and as much as I win the championship, he wins it. Must say a thank you to all our sponsors, and I've never given him a shout out, and I'm always a little bit hard on him, but my dad helped us no end with this truck, you know, and my dad got me into truck racing through
That's our milk, isn't it?
It's our milk, and Dad, if you're watching, that was for you as well, pal.
Right, well, Ryan, let me shake your hand again for the 9th time, shaking a champion's hand. Phenomenal effort. You need to go and find yourself Alan Hyde to speak to him. We're going to have a word, if we can, then with Division 2 just quickly, a bit further down. So we've got autographs getting done already. Alan speaking to Dave Jenkins, another great result for him. Paul, where is he? Ah, here he is. Wow, that was a phenomenal race. I mean, you were fully, once again, mixed in with the Division 1s, holding them off for quite some time. We'll get to Mr. Cole in a minute about his tow truck business he's starting up.
Yeah, it was a good race. We're nice to be racing with everybody else. We could see Paul, the nearest competitor, was quite far back, so I chose to let Steve come down the pass, and there was a yellow flag and Neil come past, and then me and Dave had a little bit of contact, so I lost a bit of times, but it was all good fun racing. I enjoyed every minute of it. It
was a phenomenal race to watch, especially, like I say, Division 2, because there were so many challenges for that top 3. I mean, I might have let the cat out the bag, but we might be seeing you a bit more full-time next year, am I right?
Yeah, we're here for the full season next year, sponsored by Apollo Tyres, so we can commit to next year and get some more sponsorship on and really push forward, and we'll be moving into Division 1.
And will we be seeing you in the same truck?
No, it'll be a brand new built truck.
Ooh!
No,
right, well, Adam, great start to the weekend. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations. Simon, now we only saw the results of whatever happened. How did John Powell end up on your back bumper?
We were both together fighting, because we were both fighting for the championship there. I was in the lead. I just think he overcooked it, got caught on my back wheel and pulled up in the back. I just pulled him up there. He said, "There's nothing. It's racing, you know. What can we do?"
Yeah, and you've both driven away from it.
Yeah. We both got away with it. I was going to try and take him all the way round to the finish line. I still finished in front of him then. But
Well, at least you can control the finish.
Yeah.
Speaking of incidents, Michael, come on in a moment. Now, we saw you come off a cropper, Tom O'Rourke going a bit deep into the corner of Paddock Hill Bend. You did quite well at pulling that back, the same way as Simon did quite well of controlling the situation with John Powell.
I didn't see what Simon was doing.
He tried to give John Powell a lift around the circuit. Remember, like your dad did to Ricky Collett a couple of years ago. Yeah.
It's all good crack, isn't it?
All good crack. Definitely a crack bumper.
Christ, aye.
Good start to the weekend for you.
Oh, aye, lovely. Lovely, aye.
And of course, even more important starts to the weekend for you.
Yeah, it's in our hands. John was 14 points in front. Well, I've got to go for it. It is what it is.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where that ended up.
So he intentionally took John out there then?
No, John tried to slow him down by holding onto his back bumper.
Did he beat him then? Get on, silent.
Hey, right then, well, you can see the atmosphere is electric down here.